Whether you're trying to grow a beauty salon, a cafe, or any other retail business, there are some marketing fundamentals you need in place. Nothing complicated, just some good old-fashioned principles that every successful business owner understands. And who better to remind us what they are than Lisa Conway, an ex-hairdresser. Hey, before we immerse ourselves in episode 386 of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, the Marketing Gold is made possible thanks to American Express and Design Crowd. Design Crowd is the world's #1 custom design marketplace where, with access to 550,000 designers, you'll get the perfect design every time. Get $100 off at designcrowd.com/Timbo. And check this out, you gotta love it when your business expenses reward you. When you apply for an American Express Business Explorer credit card by November 30 and spend $3,000 in the first 3 months from the card approval date, you'll receive a bonus 100,000 membership reward points. Search Amex Business to find out how. New American Express card members only. Terms and conditions apply. I always wanted to do that.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to the Small Business Big Marketing Show, the #1 marketing podcast in Australia, as ranked by the Apple iTunes Store, which is also available on all Virgin Australia flights. I'm your host, Timbo Reid, but you, so much more importantly, you're a motivated business owner ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Big show today. Ex-hairdresser, now straight-talking business coach, Lisa Conway reminds us just how simple building a successful business should be. I'll show you how to get your customers coming back for more by being extremely efficient. And we go back into the vault, revisiting one of my most shared episodes of recent times. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Coming up after today's interview, I'll give you a simple hack to ensure your clients choose you every single time. But right now, let's go and meet today's successful business owner who has a refreshingly no-nonsense approach to business and marketing. She also drops the S-bomb, not the F-bomb, the S-bomb a few times. So it might be good to get the Play-Doh out now for the kids. Know what I mean? Got it out? Okay, good. Lisa Conway discovered her passion for hair and beauty when she was 18. Over the next couple of decades, she built a hugely successful salon business whilst others floundered in a highly competitive marketplace. She's no longer cutting hair, but is instead one of Australia's leading business coaches to those that do. Her dream is for every salon and spa owner to make a great living by building a business they love. She's published 3 books on the topic, authored countless articles, speaks regularly at industry events, and has helped hundreds of salon owners change the way they do business, lead teams, and manage their time and money. I started off by asking Lisa, what's the worst hair trend she's ever seen?
Worst trend? Oh, Lord. Ooh, I think the mullet. That was really bad. Yeah.
Wasn't a good one, was it?
No, it wasn't good for anybody, the mullet. I don't think it made anyone look any better. No.
Did you ever,
I think it just
have one?
No. I did a few. Yeah, I did a few. And then I hated the flat top.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sort of like the...
Like, you know, it just attracted the very OCD kind of
did it?
pain in the arse. Yeah.
Get the ruler out.
Yeah. The rest would be shit, but my hair's sharp.
Yeah, right. Love it. You grew up in a country town, Lisa. You would have done a few mullets. At the age of 18, you get into hairdressing. That was a fairly obvious career transition from a girl in a country town.
No, not really. I I left the country and because I wanted to be a hairdresser. So what happened to me, I walked into Collins Street, Elizabeth Street, and looking for a haircut. I know, I thought I'll get a haircut, hadn't thought anything of it. And the way they treated me just changed my life. Right there and then I decided that's it. I want to be a hairdresser now because she was just gorgeous. This girl really cared about me. And I just thought, wow, imagine doing that for a living. Imagine helping people. And that was it. I went home. I was working in aged care and I went home and chucked my job in and came back to Melbourne and became a hairdresser.
Just to be clear, at the age of 18...
19, I was.
19, you had that realisation.
Boom.
Mate, that is that's what I call an epiphany.
It was a huge one. Yep,
And
I couldn't stop looking at myself in the mirror all the way home thinking, oh, I'm all right.
Was this Elizabeth Street hairdresser operating off a low base? Or
Well, I think it was a training school. I just took me a while to get that, bugger of a man. Yeah. No, it was. I couldn't believe I'd never experienced that before. I was just told I had ordinary hair because it is wild and no one gave a shit, basically.
So here's our first lesson, I reckon, is the pitch, because there'd be many business owners listening, salon owners and everyone else. You know, if someone says to a hairdresser, what do? They say, I'm a hairdresser, I cut hair. No, you don't.
No, you don't. No.
What's your response to that?
Oh, you just, people come in at a number. It might be a 2 or a 4, and you raise the bar. Send them out. I used to send them out 10 out of 10, spinning around and happy.
You make people feel like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, make people feel good. It's an incredible job.
It's a great pitch.
Oh, it's a great job. And people don't get it. We can't get people to join our industry.
Really?
It's terrible.
I thought it was a highly competitive industry, oversupplied.
No.
There's a hairdresser on every corner.
Yeah, I know, but they still can't find staff and they're working in 1s and 2s. In my day, in 1984...
Back in my day,
they used to be groups of 10s and 12s and 15s. It was buzzing. It was like the cafe culture now used to be hairdressing.
It's a ongoing problem, no matter what type of industry the small business owner's in. What's your biggest problem? People. Attracting and retaining people.
Yeah, because they're not leaders.
So what we're going to talk about, I'm going to guess, will help any business owner achieve the attraction and retention of great people. So you go back, you go, Mum, I'm a 10 out of 10 now. Have a look at me. I'm leaving aged care. I'm getting into hairdressing. So for how many years did you cut hair before you started your own business?
16.
16.
Yeah, I worked for one man.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a ripper, paid me really well, let me run the place, and he was just awesome. And I didn't realise why he loved me. I was a ripper of a team member. It wasn't until I started to find my own that I thought, oh, no wonder Sam loved me.
What was he particular? So paid you well, gave you enough rope to hang yourself by the sounds of it.
Well, flexibility. I think I was age 21 and I said, I can't do 5 days a week. That's too hard. You've got to put your face on and be switched on. What if I did 4? He said, do 4 and do same money, you can do 4. I did 4. And that's what people aren't flexible today. I gave my managers Saturdays off because you want them to have something that no one else has. You've got to be attractive. And so Sam worked that out early in the piece and I just stayed. I had children. I had 3 kids when I worked for Sam, and it wasn't until I wanted to work a bit more because I had my daughter and went back 4 weeks later on a Saturday. Took the breast pump to work with me.
That's it?
Loved it. Oh, kiddo, why wouldn't you put your
pumping
heels
and
on?
cutting, or you did one or the other?
No, I did. Well, there was a day when someone nearly drank it in the fridge when I left it there. That we had to put labels on things. But Sam was just like that. He just, you perform and do a good job, and he accommodated you, and that's what a good boss does.
There's something. It's a wanky word, but there's something very authentic about that. And being able to bring the breast pump. I saw Pink on 60 Minutes. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
They were talking about
Love
that
it.
photo she shared on Instagram of some kind of weird.
Well, it's sort of stepped it up a notch since I was
some
feeding.
kind of vest that had inbuilt breast pumps. But point is, listeners, this is not a breast pump. This is not a lactation conversation. She posted that on Facebook.
Because she's real.
Real.
That's why people love her. She's absolutely real.
Tell me about that. You love Pink. I can see a bit of Pink in you.
Yeah, she, I just love the way that she says, well, this is how I am and I'm going to be the best version of me. And I think if we took that leaf as, as a person, but as a business leader, people want to be with someone who's going somewhere, who's going places and doing things and got a thriving, growing business, not come in and these are all the things you're not allowed to do. That's pretty sad, I think.
You say, you tell it how it is, right? And there's probably not enough. That's what attracted me to having this chat with you. I'm expecting some kind of, don't do this, do that. They're all bloody doing this. They're all idiots. But, there's not enough people, I don't think, out there who necessarily do that.
And I think as you get older, you get better at it. I think that you become comfortable in your skin. Like, I'm 53, but I was always pretty much a straight shooter. And you like me or you didn't, and I was okay with that. But I think I didn't find it hard to get people to work for me because I made it really clear as to how good it was going to be here, and what you might find here. And especially women, like to have a nest of women and have no bitchiness. That's pretty cool if you can do that.
Pretty hard.
Yeah, it is hard, but I just make the rules.
I've just lost half my listening audience by saying
Whoops.
that. Yeah.
Well, I think one of my friends, Bruce, said to me years ago...
Bruce, is he a hairdresser?
No, no hair. No hair. He said, you know what I like about you? You think like a man. I said, oh, Bruce, I don't think you can say that out loud. He said, you just do. It's not overcomplicated. And I think, there's feminine energy and masculine energy, but I think we get caught up into the emotion of everything. When if you just put emotion aside... and then make a really good decision. And it's the same with divorce, if you can put emotion aside. Like I've had friends who've taken 3 dining room chairs and he's got 3. What are you going to do with 3? Who comes in
Far too
3s?
rational.
I know, at least 4 and 2.
Correct.
Dining room chairs,
exactly.
They sell more.
Yeah.
What are you really fighting over here?
Yeah, okay. So, Lisa, you are 16 years working for the man.
Sam, yep.
Working for Sam. You love him. You've learned a lot from him. Did you know at the time that you were just building this treasure chest of business knowledge in order to one day start your own?
No, not at all. No. I decided I didn't want to drive anymore because I was in Gisborne. I did a 45-minute drive down to Melbourne. So if I wasn't going to do that every day, that's just too hard. So the GST was coming in and there was people folding who had hair salons who thought, well, now I'm going to have to count money for the government. I can't do this. And so there's a bit of a clearing sale. And I looked in this shop that had closed down that was a salon, and when I looked in there, someone looked back and went, can I help you? I thought, oh, that one's been taken. And then he said, up the road there's a couple of empty ones. So my intention was to have a salon of just one. I thought, nah, I'm over it, sorting out all the things that Sam couldn't be bothered to sort out, and, customer care was slipping and he really couldn't care anymore. And so I just wanted to work on my own. And then I thought if the kids can come after school, we're good. So I put the salon wall halfway in the salon because there's a lot of back room. And we pulled that out and moved it right down to the back 12 months later because it just took off. People wanted to come to me and I suppose I had real good city hairdressing skills.
Yes.
And I had this really good country, make you feel good, yes, come in attitude.
Found that was your intersection.
Yeah, and that was just what I did, So put someone on. I started in the 1st of the 1st of the 1st. And
Geez, you want to talk OCD?
Yeah,
did you intend
it was an
that?
accident, no. And I think my rent was $170
$111
a week. Yeah, $111. Not good with numbers, so we've got to make it easy.
Yeah.
And I just put on a team member and another one, and then I had it for 9 years, and I started and finished 9 apprentices in 9 years, which is unheard of. People find it really hard to train people today. I didn't. I just treated them like kids. Behave yourself or I'll give you a whack over the ear. And it just took off and I loved it. You
make that rolled off your tongue then. Business ain't that easy.
Well, it was for me, and I think when I look back now, and I had a second business in the city. It wasn't as easy. No, it
What
wasn't.
was that? Tattoo parlour?
No, brothel. No, it wasn't. It was a salon.
Another salon?
Another salon, yeah. And I didn't work in that one, so it was harder to get it off the ground when you weren't there all the time.
So that's interesting. Now we've got a benchmark. We've got we can do a split test here. So you got 2 salons.
Yep.
You opened at the same time?
No, because I was leaving the country to come and live in the city. So I sold the country one and bought a city one.
Okay. So the successful one's in the city?
In the country.
Oh, geez, mate.
Much
in
easier.
the country.
Because everyone knows your business.
Yeah,
so
right.
You don't even have to market yourself.
So the fact that you weren't there
in the
led
city
to,
one, yeah.
That doesn't bring a lot of hope, does it? Because all of a sudden it becomes key person dependent.
No, because you've got to get in there and get started.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then once you do, then you can step back a bit. but you need to get in and make sure it's all done. I was already coaching other salons at that stage, and look, it was good. They advertised it for 30,000, this salon, and I told him he could have 10. And then he was a smart ass. I said, you can have 6 for your computer, because that's all it was worth. It wasn't worth anything. I think there was shonky business going on before we took it over, as in there was a lot of muscle men came in. Something was really suspicious there, yeah. And so I built it up and we sold it for good money 2 years later. So it wasn't a flop, but it wasn't like the heart and soul of the one that I was the centre of and then worked my way off. So it was kind of different.
You are working in the one in the country, and so...
I worked my way off the floor, though. I stopped working on the floor probably about 3 years before I sold it. So I just ran it with my mouth.
Okay. So what you mean by that is you weren't on the tools for the last 3 years.
Last 3 years I wasn't on the tools.
Were you in there doing things?
No, didn't need to be. Had reception.
Okay.
Yeah, so it ran by itself.
So I want to find out what you did and what other business owners can do, both in salon land, retail land generally. Yep. But first, it is a fascinating industry, and I want to find out, because I'm guessing, and you're a coach now to hairdressers and salon owners, there's a lot of them doing a lot wrong. And there's a lot, in our little chat the other week, I walked past some salons, and the fit out, it's like a 5-star restaurant, and you just can't help but you then immediately make they must be making $1 million. Geez, they're doing well. You're telling me they're not.
No, quite often they're not. It's a real surprise, because when we start to work with the salon, or even when we pitch to work for the salon, what we do is we want to see I call their traffic. So I want to see how many people come in, what do they spend, how often they repeat your average dollar sale. And sometimes you go to these little shonkyvilles and you go, whew, good on you.
Smashing
it. Well done. And then you go to some and you think, I'm very impressed that they even want me to look, thinking it's a bit hoity-toity, and you think, what the hell's going down here? So I call them peacocks, those ones. They're very colourful at the front and blah, 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 and then they turn around, the bank account's all brown. And they'll even argue with you. I say, little things that you can do, like you could write on the mirror a promotion or something. No, not writing on my mirror. Why? It doesn't look good. I said, well, your bank account looks worse. But they sort of can't. They're very visual, and that's really uncomfortable. So, you've got to break that thinking that it's not an image, A
few weeks ago in this chair we had Chris Lucas, who owns some of the most amazing restaurants in Melbourne, Chin Chin, Hawker's Hall, Baby Kong Pizza, all those. And I asked him a similar question, which was, there's no shortage of restaurants, and there seems to be a restaurant on every corner, and most can't be making $1. And he said, you're right. Some are just lifestyle businesses. Some are happy to earn a wage. But his view was that Me Too doesn't intellectually interest him. He needs to create something that's special that no one's done before.
Yep.
Do you agree with that? Or
absolutely. You've got to have a niche, because if, I say to people all the time when I'm working with them, why should I come have my hair cut with you? And I say, because we're friendly and we're really nice. And I go,
oh, sorry. What?
Aren't we all? And anyway, that's a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
So what do you do? And look at the barbers. We nearly lost the barbers altogether. They almost disappeared, and now they've popped up, and you go past them on a Sunday, they're full of staff, they're full
amazing.
of clients. Yeah, exactly, because they're a niche and they're working it out, and that's the secret. So colouring niches or cutting only. And there's a chap here in Fitzroy, only cuts curly hair. That's it.
No.
Yep, they come from all over Australia.
Is it called Curlies?
No, it's called Neil Loves Curls.
That's unreal.
He's like 135 or something like that for a haircut. And they travel everywhere. He's just a machine. He just loves curls. He, trained himself all over the world, and he's just fantastic.
Is your advice then, I had niche down here, I think it's a fascinating discussion, because niches are scary. When people niche, they think they're going to polarise everyone else, which I'm not sure. I mean, Neil would, because he ain't got curly hair, you're not going to Neil, but...
Yeah, but his audience is far and wide, and so what he does is he works with the person who can't find that care anywhere else. Like even my curly hair, people who'd come to me from other hairdressers would say, go and see Lisa. And I'd say, where'd you come from? And they say, the salon across the road sent me in. because I don't know how to cut curly hair and they're not interested. And because I have a head of curly hair, I was interested. So it can be that, can be blow waving. You know, we've got blow wave bars now. Or colouring. People specialise in colouring. So that's the secret. And, you know, someone told me years ago a niche is an inch wide, right? But it's a mile deep. And that is so true. Look at me. It's all I work with, hair and beauty salons.
Yeah, I love it.
And to me, I can be so good at it because that's all I'm focused on. You know, I have people come to me who want me to coach them. I've got one at the moment. She's a physio for dogs. And she sent me this lovely email and I sent back, no, you know, you're not hair and beauty. And she came back again and said, but you know what, actually, I think you're wrong, blah, blah. And I said, all right, I'll talk to you. Because she's really keen and I don't mind helping someone who's feisty and, you know, someone like that. So, you know, whether I do or not, I've helped the odd personal trainer, but I just think I love the hairy people. You know, I love them because they're my people. I made all the mistakes they made as well, so I get it.
In that inch-wide niche, and just to be clear, are you suggesting that, like, a tip for a salon or any type of business is consider owning a niche? Yeah? Okay.
Do what you love.
Okay. So within that, a niche has its own language, so that's great. You can speak you speak the same language. It's easy for others to refer you because if you're the chick who cuts curly hair and that's all.
And they don't want to cut it, so they send it to you.
Send it to you. Okay.
Yeah. Neil sends all his colours down the road and I've got salons that I work with now and they send them all to Neil. Send them to Neil. Because they want, you know, a genuine person who cares about another person wants them to get the right thing. So send them there.
How do you have a process for identifying your niche?
Well, I think it's pretty easy because it's what you love. You know, people do what they're good at and so they get better and better at it. But say, for example, you've got kids coming in and they all hate kids so they just price them out. You know, but there's people who even do niches for kids. And we came across a salon the other day in Sydney and she's niched her salon. She's just started and she's fitted it all out for the disabled. She's even got a hoist to lift them out of their wheelchairs and into the basin.
And that's her thing?
That's her thing.
Wow.
Awesome.
People are going to travel from everywhere.
Well, that's right. And so she's only just starting to, you know, break even, and we want to help her with that because her audience is going to be an organisation. So people will bring them to. So she's got a special room, doesn't look at all like a salon for kids with autism. Amazing.
What if to choose a niche, you choose something you love. What if your love isn't a profitable thing?
Well, you might say that about someone who's going to work with a disability too, but I think you can make it a profitable thing. You know, so I think anything that you do should be profitable. It's like blow waves. You know, there's blow wave salons and some of them aren't profitable because they're just blow waving. But others that do it fast, you know, who work, you know, on a rebooking system and have packages and that, then it can work. So I don't know. I just think if you really love what you do, then you'll find a way to make it work. You've just got to think wider. And most people, like even in my business, I only coach salons that I could drive to. Well, that wasn't going to work forever, was it? I was going to run out of them. So now I coach salons all across Australia. We've had our first account in New Zealand. So, you know, you've got to think bigger. And if you've got a niche, you've got to think bigger. So that's just what happens when you niche. You start to get really smart about it, you get a reputation with it, and then people come from far and wide. So if you physically have to touch someone like you do in a salon, then that is a little limiting, I agree. But if you have things like I do, which is education, or I just need my voice, you've just got to be able to get to you. You film a lot of content, you have stuff that you can give to them beforehand, so it works a treat.
I just want to... We'll wrap up niche in a minute, but it is a fascinating topic. And so you find something you love, you find a way to make it work. What if there is the hairdresser down... What if I'm a hairdresser, my niche is colouring, and the other salon a few doors down is also colouring? Should you go, oh, no, I should choose something else, or you just do it better than them?
Well, you're thinking too small, for starters. So let's think about Indian restaurants.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. Well, think about Indian restaurants.
Yes.
Well, they're side by side.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make them right.
I know, but if you do an exceptional job, it will be right.
Yes. Okay,
so stop worrying about everyone else. Just perfect what you're doing.
Geez, you're harsh, mate. I'm almost going to wrap this up.
Sorry.
No, I love it.
I do. I get a bit excited. Like the world's full of can't do people.
Yes.
What the hell?
Yes.
It just drives me insane. I'm sorry.
Another
you
fellow
hit a bit of a nerve there, love.
Glenn Azar. He said we're all trying to get to death safely.
Yeah.
That was his thing. Gave me a T-shirt, hashtag not dead yet.
Yeah, exactly. Have a crack.
Have a crack?
Have a crack. And stop telling me how it can't work. If you show up and you want to work with me and you say, oh, I can't find staff, blah, blah, blah. Like, I have two things. I have to make sure you're not going to whinge about how good it was in 1984 because I'm not interested. And the other thing is you've got to tell me that what you want and can I help you to do it, not how it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like when I hear someone's been married 3 times, I think, good on you, have another crack. Instead of I got married once, not even having coffee with anyone now.
Yeah, right.
Well, how's that working for you?
Did you diss 1984 before? Because it's one of my favourite years.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Yeah. You'd be an 80s chick. I'm going to digress here, but what about the hair in the 80s?
Oh, we used to tip our hair upside down and spray it with a tin of lacquer. How do we even get that in our handbags? We used to go to the underground and all the women were upside down in the powder room.
Great.
And I think, what? Like, you know, I remember my brother coming from the country to pick me up out of the academy and I said, Danny, you've got to come. There's at 5 o'clock, there's 300 women come out. They're all gorgeous, right? Yeah. Anyway, he was a farmer. He came down and he sat in the car. He said, well, I saw 348 that were ugly. I said, what do you mean? He goes, oh, they had that much makeup on, their hair was sticking up. Oh, I said, I forgot
Danny,
you like a natural girl.
Can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, clearly.
Let's talk, we're going to go around the place here, but let's now sort of dissect other parts, other component parts that make for a successful salon business. Can I just talk retail? Is that
Yeah, retail's my thing. I wrote a book on that.
What was it called?
Your Salon Retail.
You're clever.
Such a ripper.
Let's talk pricing. Why are men's haircuts so much cheaper than women's? When my wife says I'm going to get a haircut...
Because hairdressers are silly.
Huh?
Because hairdressers are silly.
You reckon, don't you? No, don't you?
No, I'm not going to do the equal. No, they don't have a blow wave for starters, right? Yeah. So a woman generally has a cut and a blow wave. You know.
Yeah.
Well, look, my Simon, I used to cut his hair. I did it about twice.
I reckon I've got you here.
Hey?
I reckon it's a scam.
No. Women will pay more. That'll do it.
You don't want that money burning a hole in your wife's pocket.
Men aren't pains in the arse.
Right.
So you shouldn't have to charge them, especially if you've got big boobs. They're fine.
Who, the men?
No, the women.
Oh, the women.
The hairdressers. Then they'll do anything. No, women. That's right. In the Uber on the way in, the bloke said to me, he asked where I was going or something, so I told him, and he said...
In life or just...
No, into here. And he said, I said, I'm doing an interview for blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I work in the hair and beauty space. He goes, yeah, I don't really go there much. So I turned to my right and saw him. I thought, yeah, you probably don't. No hair left. Really? He said, I might make a comeback.
Love it. So what do you say what's your pricing advice to a salon owner that you're coaching?
Well, I think it's got to start, and I say this to everybody, so for every half an hour you've got to charge 45 minutes at least.
$45.
$45 at least, right? And then you go up from there. So that's your base. Otherwise you're not going to make any money. So how people go in and pay $10 for a haircut, I don't know. There's something dodgy going on there.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Well, it's not right. And I don't know why we don't shut them down, to be honest. But anyways, and so then for years of service, you know, the customer care and, you know, all the things that you've been trained. Like, I got a haircut. I used to cut hair at High Point for $26 for men, right, when I first started, way back in the 80s. You can still get a haircut there.
You can.
And that's what the Uber driver was saying today. He said, when's coffee going to get off $3? He said, how long's coffee been $3.80? He said, I reckon 10 years. I said, I agree. He said, they should be $6.
Jeez.
True. And hairdressing's one of those things that hasn't gone up. Flights were dearer 10 years ago than they are now.
Well, is it price elasticity of hairdressing is clearly reaching a point where, I mean, most blokes aren't going to pay $50 for a haircut. Well, I'm sorry, but really?
Some aren't. Well, you can go to a barber. No, I know, but I also think you can go somewhere where they don't give you any advice on how to look after your hair at home. So they don't sell you a product, they don't talk to you about your scalp. Most men go bald because they use too many Laurel sulfates in their shampoo, and you don't know about that.
It was the Laurels.
Yeah, the Laurels, they're buggers.
Yeah.
And so there's so much more advice. But, you know, think of it like this, and this is what I say to salon owners. It's like food. Sometimes I just want a McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And other times I want a fine dining with a big glass of wine. So what do you want when you want a haircut? I can't help it if you only want McDonald's. There's salons for you. But if you want to go somewhere where they're actually ahead of the curve, they know what's going on, they treat you beautifully, like what a haircut can give you is an unbelievable edge and confidence. It is.
No, agreed with that.
So that's the same as fine dining. Some people don't care that there's little rose petals on the side of your dish. They go, what am I going to do, eat them? No. Right? Clearly, I've got 5 brothers. They come down from the country and they said, why do they put all this shit in the food? Sorry if I said that word. But
You've said it 3 times prior to that, so don't worry.
Okay, we could. And so I just think, oh, Gary, why wouldn't you want it?
Yeah.
Like he just wants a pie and chips.
Let's talk customer experience, because I'm going to guess that's pretty close to your heart. There is a barber shop that I've been to, and I haven't made it a habit of going there, and now I'm wondering why, because the experience they offer is fantastic, and they do charge about $50 for a haircut. But you walk in, it's an open bar. You can have everything from a Jack Daniels and Coke through to a cheap beer.
Yep.
It's part of the deal. You don't pay for that. All the blokes have got tats. They're all looking like this hipster thing. There's really cool posters. There's barbers. It is a total immersive experience, and it's ace. And it's all blokes, and we're all talking crap, and it's just a lot of fun. So I get that niche. They're charging what they deserve.
Yeah. Why not? It's a good experience.
So customer experience. How do you get a hairdresser who goes, what are you talking about? I don't even know what marketing is, much less customer experience. How do you get them to buy into that concept?
Well, I think for starters, the first problem is that they don't ever buy what they sell. So I call them vegetarians that work in butcher shops. It's all wrong, isn't it? It's all wrong. So if you don't ever buy what you sell, how would you know what it feels like? So most of them have been in the industry since they left school. They've never even been out and had an experience. They've never, and then I get them to go and have it, and they go, I couldn't go. What if they muck it up? I go, well, hello, now you know what the customer feels like. So the good salon owners will be going out all the time and having their hair done, and they'll pick up on tips here and there, and they know what's going on. They go, oh, that was really cool. I like the way they did this, or I like the way they did. They're hidden. They've got no idea what's going on. So that's really sad. So that's very hard for them to give that experience if they don't know. And then you've got some in the salon, probably one, the owner, who does give an exceptional experience, but the others don't. So that was kind of my problem. I had people who wanted me, and it was the Lisa Sparkle that they wanted. It wasn't necessarily the haircut. So I had to work on a way that I could teach other people to be so engaging. So I'd be cutting hair, and someone's coming to the door with the pram, and I leave my client to open the door for the lady with the pram when the hairdressers are standing there. What the hell? That's a customer experience too. Nothing. Sam taught me, short of prostitution, everything's possible. That's what he taught me, and that's what we used to say.
Love Sam.
Yeah, and that's where I learnt that skill to look after people, so he had no problem with that. And then he was just bank them up behind you. He goes, yeah, Lisa won't be long. I'm thinking, oh, my God, how am I going to cut faster? So, there's a whole generation who take their time. They're artistes. How's that working for you?
You just flicked your eyes back. Really?
Yeah. So people want a good service, but they want it in an incredible short amount of time. No one wants to spend 3 hours in a salon.
Oh.
If you could do the same colour and take an hour and a half, I think it's worth twice the money.
Okay. Just come back to hold the thought around customer experience. So what your tip was, go and buy what you sell.
Yep.
Right? And do it often.
Yep. And do the same. Get people into your place and critique your team members too.
Yes.
So easy. What's the front door experience like? Were you offered to rebook? Were you offered styling tips on how to manage your hair in between?
Yep.
Same as beauty treatments. They do a beauty treatment and the next day they complain because they all ring up because they're red in the face. I go, well, why didn't you explain to them this is going to happen? You could have pictures. So they don't think about what the customer doesn't know. They just, because they know it, they think everyone knows it. And they go, oh, bloody clients are ringing me up.
So part of this customer experience, Lisa, is the fact that you've got, everyone wanted the Lisa Sparkle, right? And then you've got all these other staff who don't have the Lisa. How do you get people to buy into what you do? Do you just lead by example?
Well, you teach them. You've got to make time to work on your team. And people want to train their people in skill, as in technical skill. That's only part of it.
That's given. It's like that's learned.
Well, I think you can learn that. But if you teach people to give a shit and care, then they will do the skill properly. And I was an average hairdresser. I wasn't an exceptional hairdresser. I was an amazing people person. Mm-hmm. That's what won me all the points. Mm-hmm. And that's what you have to teach people. So you do teach them to that. That's just what you do. Expect that you're going to teach someone. So if you find good people, you can teach them the skill, right? Okay. But what they do is they chase skill and then they expect to teach someone to be a good person. I've never seen that work yet. Mm-hmm. So, I had great success with finding good people who want a great boss. And I was a great boss. When I left the country salon to go to the city, and I thought, well, no one's going to know who I am, so how am I going to find staff? Whereas in the country it was easy because people go, work there if you're serious, you know, if you want a good place to work, but you'll take no shit, right? So that was fine. So every one of them wrote down all the reasons why you should work for me, and I was blown away that the single thing that came back was, she'll call you on your bullshit. It's a great place to work. There's no bitchiness.
Yep.
Treats us all equal, everyone, from apprentice to the senior. And that's what they loved about me. When at times I thought, I'm being a bit harsh here. But, you know, we had a magic door. When you walked into the door, it was called a shit shaver. If you've got a bad attitude, I'd just grab you by the shoulders and go, come back here, love. I go, zh, zh, zh. There, shave a bit of shit off you. Now come in, see, made you laugh. So there's a nice way of saying to people, you know, this is an island. So when you come into work, all your troubles get left behind. Isn't that a good place to be? So it doesn't matter what's going down in your life, come and work here where it's a great place to work. Mm-hmm. And if you start to talk about things, you just put your hand up. Done.
Tell it to the hand.
Don't tell it at all.
Don't tell it at all.
And if we were going to say anything negative, I had to take you out the front of the salon. So if we even were going to talk about a client who was driving us insane, we weren't allowed to talk about it in the salon. You just say, come out the front.
It feels to me like I can't help but agree with what you're saying, but there'll be business owners that you work with who are highly, like, give you the most amazing haircuts ever, but you're telling them to pull their staff out and put their hand up and give them a shit shave and take them outside. And, I mean, it just might not be part of their DNA.
But I think if you're going to lead a team, isn't that what running a business is about?
Yeah.
Then you need to learn this. If you don't learn it, you're just going to chase your tail. The amount of salons we come across that got up to 5 or 6 on team and then ended up back to none again. Why is that? Because there was no honesty in the business. There was no, this is how it's going to be, no culture, no core. So therefore, it's going to fall over at any point.
I imagine there'd be a lot. The hairdressing industry would be full of people who go and start working at a salon as a haircutter or friends, but then they go, oh, I reckon I could do this myself. So is this multiplier effect of...
Yeah, they do, and we don't have that much trouble in beauty. Beauty, you've got to cost a lot of money to open a proper heavy-duty beauty salon, you know. But hairdressing, it doesn't cost much at all. But then I just think the customer experience has got to change where if you go to one salon, there's only 1 or 2 people in there, then you've really limited to your choices. Like I want to go to a salon where she's great, he's fantastic, he's awesome, she's great. And I've got choices.
Yeah, right.
You know, imagine going to get your coffee and they go, no, he's not here today, no coffee. Oh, shit. Right? So it's about, you have to be a leader. That's as simple as that. And I don't care who you are, what business you're in, if you don't know how to lead a team and paint a picture of what's wonderful in the future and where we're going, especially this generation, they're very different.
Don't get me started. I've got 3 of them.
I think they're fantastic. How old are yours?
They're 17, 19 and 21.
Yeah, mine are twin boys 26 and a daughter 27.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've raised them to stick up for themselves.
Yeah. I am talking to Lisa Conway. She's from Zing Business Coaching, hairdresser, ex-hairdresser, country girl, made good. Lisa, let's talk. We have been talking marketing. Everything we've been talking about has been marketing. But when you sit down with a salon owner and say, righto, what marketing are you doing, do they kind of glaze over?
No, because they want to do marketing. That's where they say, I just need more customers. I want to market. And I go, how long have you been in business? They go, 8 years. I go, what'd you do the ones you had? And they go, what do you mean? I go, well, have a look. We got, 80 people come through the door every week. How many new ones? 20? And then you're still on 80. So clearly you're killing the same amount as you're getting.
Yeah.
And they think, So one of the things we make them do is you've got to look at the names of the people who didn't return. 4 months we give them. If someone hasn't returned in 4 months, they're somewhere else. So before we teach you marketing, we can teach you some in-house ones, right? But before we teach you marketing, we want to tidy up your customer service and get everything right first, because when you market, it's like shine the light on me. Look at me as a business. So if you market before you've got things tidied up, you're going to grow, cancer grows too. So you've got to be careful about that. So some of them, we lose accounts because they just want marketing. I think, well, go somewhere else, find just marketing. But we do the whole enchilada. That's what we do. So marketing, to me, I think they don't understand it. So they think it's like doing a letterbox. Yeah, letterbox drop. Yep, something like that. Well, I think that's probably even moved on. Or they put things on Facebook, and they put a post on Facebook and wonder why it doesn't work. And so I go, well, social media is not for that. It's about gathering a tribe and giving value back. So giving tips and how to look after your hair and, you know, what skin's like and all of those sort of things. So I don't think they understand it, for starters. To me, the word marketing is just repeating your story again and again, no matter where you go. And people often say, oh, we just do word of mouth. Well, that just tells me you're lazy. You don't know how to do it. So you can do word of mouth on steroids by doing a referral card or things like that. So it makes sense to refer people who already know and love you and trust you. They know who to pick for you. So there's lots of things like that. But marketing, it's really fun. It's really fun.
Bloody oath it is.
I love it. But I think that you've got to understand it before you can start it.
I don't think enough business owners see it as fun. I mean, their accountants are telling them it's an
like
expense.
fishing.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
It's like a net, you know. Ooh, got one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, as long as you know what net to pull out. And,
and you'll get the odd boot. You'll get the odd boot, that's fine. But I think, well, simple, I say to people, now everyone who comes to your salon, they've got to go somewhere else. So why don't you just ask everybody, do you like that restaurant, or do you go to the yoga studio, or where else do your customers hang out? And you could ask that just casually and find out and just keep a little list, and then you go to those people. So if you're beauty only, go find a hairdressing salon near you and do a cross-pollination thing. You know, a florist, I even did it with a dry cleaner.
Partnerships.
Yep, 50 blow waves for free for his top 50 accounts. In they come. So people who have dry cleaning, they're a bit fussy.
Yes.
So they have their hair done.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Not hard. That's a partnership strategy.
That's right. Florist, you know, people who are spending over $100 in a florist for someone, they've got money.
Yep.
So they're the ones I want. So it's about finding those kind of people. I loved it. It wasn't until I got off the floor.
Fun. It's just a game, right?
It's like a game.
Right.
It's a fishing game.
Who else has got my customers? Who
roll
else
the dice, you might get 2 6s.
Correct.
You know? Who else has got my customers?
Yeah.
But what they do wrong is they come into your business and they go, can you put these, they're really sheepish, can you put these on your counter? And that, you know, my hairdressers would say yes, and I'd come in and go, who put this shit here?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, Susie, I didn't know what to say. I turn them over. The first thing I'm really happy is if there's nothing on the back, they make really good notes for the grocery store. So I always say to people, when you do marketing, put something on both sides, because that's what I used to do. So if you do that, then, you know, why would you do that? Well, if I'm going to partner with you, I'm going to take you out for a coffee, I want to talk to you. First, I might send you a letter, say, this is who I am. I wouldn't send a letter. I'd do a little video because that works for me. And you'd go, oh, who's this sticky nose? You'd have a look. And I'd say who I am and what I want to do, and I want to help you in your business, and maybe you can help me back in mine. And they go, this chick's a bit different. So it's not hard, it's fun. Yeah. But if you got your head down and your bum up cutting hair all day, where are you going to fit this in?
So to that point, do you then get your clients to put aside a dedicated amount of time to do their marketing?
Half a day a week.
Love it.
So you've got to find 4 hours.
Yep.
Phone off, TV off, kids tied up somewhere. 4 hours a week.
Tie them up, but
you know,
get them out somewhere.
Yeah, you give them to grandma.
Yeah.
But you can find 4 hours a week uninterrupted. And I say even in those 4 hours, you've only got to find 45 minutes for each hour. Right? But if you concentrate for 45, you can get a lot done, 45 minutes.
Yep.
But, you know, think about it. Might be the first session might be to ring, you know, 5 of your people that you think you could synergise with. Easy.
Or 10 clients who haven't been back for 4 months.
That's it.
That'd be a gutsy thing because you don't want to hear, oh, I'm gone somewhere else. But, hey.
That's business.
That's
you know, you put your hand up to be a business owner. Hello.
Yep.
You know, the rewards are exceptional. So, but you've got to put in. That's it. I remember the first time I sent out my first lot of lost clients. So I'd gone back over 12 months or so and I had these 300 letters made. And I literally hung on to them in the postie box. I was scared to let them go because I thought everyone would think, oh, God, she's desperate now. Yeah. And they just came in and just said, hi, I haven't seen you for a while. We'd love to see you again. That's it, right? Not, did we hurt you? Did we shit you? None of that. And they came in with these $30 vouchers and it was $30 for a cut and colour. And they came in and said, oh, we've been thinking about you. Yeah, I thought I'd come in. So what it did was it let them know that I'm happy for them to come back. It was not that. No one's lying awake thinking about your business.
Correct. You are. The owner is, right?
No one else is.
Oh, everyone must be. It's not at all.
You think about how many businesses you lie awake thinking about at night. None. Unless there's some hot bloke at the, you know, good eye candy at the jump. But other than that, you're not.
Correct.
True.
Correct.
So get over yourself, dickhead. I say that all the time.
Wow. Good advice, eh? Clients paying a few $100 and you're advising, mate, get over yourself, you're a dickhead. There you go. I love your work, mate. I love the fact that you are helping business owners like salon owners who are really struggling with this stuff.
Yeah, they're stressed, poor loves.
They are stressed. And hence,
Time poor.
Yeah.
Little most of my clients have little families. I hate that. You should be able to go and pick your kids up from school.
There must be, just to finish up, is there a moment you can reflect on? Because you must drop value bombs every time you get in front of a business. You know so much more. You can see these people, you were there decades ago, right? And then you drop this little value bomb. Maybe there's tears sometimes where someone goes,
Oh, we make them cry all the time. Yeah, I think you get a change out of, I should say that nicely, you get a change out of emotion, right? So you've got to be excited. The only way you'll change is if you're angry or excited or happy and you just, or tears of joy, right? But if someone comes to me and they're, I might have a crack at this coaching. No, I say you've got to be excited and nervous. It's a bit like when you find out you're pregnant, you think, oh, God, now I've got to get it out. Got it in, right?
That was exciting.
Yeah, that was exciting, that bit. Now you think, I've got to get it out. It's £9. So it's a bit like that. And I say to people, and especially now I coach the coaches, so we're getting coaches all across Australia now, and they'll say, I can't get through to this girl and I've tried to tell her, and I say, what did she say? No, I can't. I said, well, make her cry. And they go, what do you mean? I go, make her cry. Get to the bottom of it.
Yep.
And my coach made me cry not long ago, and he said, what's really going on? And he said it a few times. I wanted to punch him, and I thought, well, and then I came through with what was really going on, and he just said, good, now we know what we're working with. Thank you for being honest. And it's the same with them. I think, especially our environment, we've got to put on this good face for everybody. And deep down, they don't look after themselves. And so, therefore, they're scared to have a crack in case it doesn't go. And so often they're very private and they don't want to say they're being coached. And then they get a few months down the track and they start to see the numbers go up. And then they start to do things at home. Like I've even helped people put rosters up for their teenage kids to cook a meal during the week. Like, why are you doing everything? Who said you were a martyr? So basically, we teach them business confidence, right? And when you're confident, you can do anything. You go home to your husband and you say, actually, I'm really struggling and I'd like you to help me with this. He's the first bloke who say, oh, great, I'll help you. But I didn't know. So,
how many hairdressers does it take to screw in a light bulb, Lisa?
They can do it on their own without a ladder.
Your clients can.
Oh, they're tough.
But Google tells me too, one to change the light bulb and the other to say, wow, that looks fabulous, Gary.
I do like that.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you go, team. Lisa Conway. I told you she'd tell it how it was. She certainly did that. Coming up, I'm going to share my top 3 attention grabbers from that fireside chat with Lisa. Plus, I'll show you a simple hack to make your clients want more of you. Cheap, quick, great. I used to work with a designer who'd force me to choose 2 of those 3 options whenever I wanted something designed. As a small business owner with limited funds, it drove me nuts that I could never have all 3. That's why I love Design Crowd. You see, Design Crowd is a website that helps startups, small businesses and marketers outsource custom design, from logos and business cards to websites and landing pages. In fact, Design Crowd gives you access to over 550,000 designers from Sydney to San Francisco, ready to help you with awesome creative ideas. Here's how it works. You post a brief describing your design need. Within hours, you'll receive your first design, and over the next 3 to 10 days, a typical project will receive 60 to 100 different designs from designers around the world. You then pick your favourite, make any changes, and pay the designer. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to set up your brand or an established business that needs marketing collateral designed, Design Crowd is your answer. For a special $100 VIP listener offer, go to designcrowd.com/Timbo or enter the discount code Timbo when posting a project. See? Now you can have cheap, quick and great design thanks to Design Crowd. And a big thanks to the American Express Business Explorer credit card for making this show possible. Now, whilst it can't get rid of your business expenses, sorry guys, they're a fact of life, it can help by having your business expenses reward you. You see, new American Express card members who apply and spend $3,000 in the first 3 months from the card approval date receive a bonus $100,000
membership rewards points. Plus, your new American Express Business Explorer credit card comes with up to 55 days interest-free and a competitive interest rate of 16.99% per annum. Now, I could go on about how it comes with complimentary travel insurance, 2 entries to the Amex Lounge at Sydney International Airport, or the fact that you can earn up to 2 points for every dollar you spend. But I reckon you get the point. Or should that be points? You got to love it when your business expenses reward you. Search Amex Business to find out how. New American Express card members only. Offer ends 30 November. Terms and conditions apply. Ha! I did it again.
Okay, my top 3 attention grabbers from my chat with ex-hairdresser, now coach to hairdressers, Lisa Conway, thanks to American Express and Design Crowd. Attention grabber number 1. I loved Lisa's no-nonsense approach to business and marketing. It's simple. She calls a spade and simply gets on with it. Attention grabber number 2. The easiest way to find a niche is to identify what you truly love and build a business around it. We've spoken a lot about niching on this show. I think it is an incredible way to create a point of difference around your business, and I'd encourage you to take another look at it and how you can apply a niching strategy in your business. And Lisa's advice around choosing something you love and making that the way you decide a niche, I think, is genius. And attention grabber number 3, buy what you sell. Great advice from Lisa. You know, I often listen to other marketing and business podcasts to see how they go about it. Gives me a chance to see how high or how low, in some cases, the bar is and what I need to do to stay ahead of the game. Buy what you sell. Love to know what grabbed your attention. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/386. Leave me a comment.
What have you got to lose?
All right, it is time for one simple yet effective marketing idea that you can implement immediately. One that won't cost you a fortune and that might just generate you more awareness, more inquiry, and ultimately more sales. I call today's idea the customer efficiency hack. Every time I fly to Sydney, I arrange for taxi driver Joe to pick me up. This is unusual on 3 counts. Number 1, I prefer Uber over taxis. 2, there's plenty of taxis waiting already outside the arrivals lounge. And number 3, Joe's the most expensive option. So why Joe? Well, I was reminded exactly why only yesterday. As we left Sydney Airport, Joe pointed out the banked up traffic on the freeway leading into town. It was bumper to bumper and would have turned a 30-minute trip into easily an hour plus. So instead of joining the queue, Joe calmly weaved his way through side streets and got me, stress-free, to my CBD hotel in the usual 30 minutes. The lesson? Intimately know the most efficient way to solve your client's problems. In a world where everyone is time poor, time is the new currency and people will pay you above the odds if you save them lots of it. So here's my 3 steps to ensuring your customers choose you every time. Step 1, have an intimate understanding of your client's problems that your business can solve. Step 2, map out how you can solve each one in the quickest, most pain-free way for them. And step 3, provide your most efficient solution every time. And if you have client-facing staff, then make sure they do as well. And here's the pro tip. Don't make a song and dance about it. Joe doesn't. He just does what he knows is best for my situation. As a result, I use him every time. And no, you can't have his number. That's my 3 steps to being a ridiculously efficient business, ensuring customers choose you every time. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/386, where you'll find a link to this post, plus some additional resources to bring this idea to life, including 6 tips to help you understand your client better and 5 ways businesses can stop wasting customers' time. Plus, you can grab a personalised copy of my book, The Boomerang Effect. So,
What have you got to lose?
well, that almost wraps up another episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show. But don't worry, there's plenty of marketing gold coming your way in the weeks ahead, including a chat with Australia's most successful gluten-free ice cream maker. Must be tasteless, but anyway, it's gluten-free. And the owner of Australia's biggest online store for toxin-free products. Thanks for all your feedback on my recent chat with barbecue chicken shop owner Wally Cawley, who just 10 months ago was in tears, having all but decided to close his fledgling business.
Yeah, it is. I had to borrow some money off my sister a few times to pay a few bills and stuff, which is hard, you know, even like you've done so well in the past and stuff, and then one shop just brings you down. But I was so determined to just turn it around, you know, like I had to do something.
Well, he certainly did do something. He made one inspired marketing decision that changed everything. You'll find that full interview plus hundreds more over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, or you can subscribe free on your favourite podcast catcher, including Spotify. Hey, I'd love to hear from you. Hit the contact button over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, where you can email me, connect with me on social media, and grab a signed copy of my book, The Boomerang Effect. Be sure to check out the American Express Business Explorer card if you love the idea of your business expenses rewarding you. Search Amex Business. And check out Design Crowd, the world's #1 custom design marketplace where, with access to 550,000 designers, you'll get the perfect design every time. And you can get $100 off at designcrowd.com/Timbo. If you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, then let another business owner or 5 know about it by grabbing their phones and downloading it for them. Like, grab their phone, open up the podcast app, search Small Business Big Marketing, hit subscribe, hand phone back, say, "You're welcome," and run away. I'd love you to do that. Until next week, I'm Timbo Reid. Thanks for tuning in. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.